hey, come back, we missed you, or something like that, like something that's more personalized to them, and be like, still shopping around, head over here for a discount, like something that calls out the fact that they've already been to your site and that they can come back, and that you'll see your click-through rate really increase with that as well.
So now, something that we need to speak about to ensure that we get the results that we want as fast as possible is marketing and how we market our dropshipping store. So what methods have you found that yield the best results for marketing a dropshipping business?
Well, for my model, the home turf advantage model, I've always found that using Google Ads strategically can place your product in front of the right customers who are actively searching for the product. So I call it search intent marketing. And it's because people have a search intent. They have an intent to buy. So we'd much prefer to put those products in front of those people, or put our products in front of those people, rather than trying to like wave our products in front of people who might not be interested to buy. You know, it's like you set up your shop in the busiest alley of the market where you know that footfall, that traffic is guaranteed already. People are already coming to our store. They wouldn't be in the market unless they had an intention to buy. So it's a bit like that. So assuming that you're using the right marketing approach and you're bringing the right kind of qualified traffic into your world, into your store, the next thing that you can do to really boost your marketing efforts is to increase your conversion rate. So we call this conversion rate optimization, or CRO. Now, one way that we do this that works really well is building trust through reviews and testimonials. You know, so they call it social proof in the online space and even in the offline space as well. But that will drive sales faster for us than any sales pitch ever could. You know, if I'm saying, oh, I've got this product, it's great, honestly, it's the best thing ever, like, believe me, it's so good, versus someone saying, I bought this product, it's amazing, you should definitely buy it. Like the two are, because the first angle, people would say, well, of course you'd say that. But then when you see other people saying it who have made the decision already and have purchased, it's a bit like the other day I went out for lunch in the West End in London, and obviously loads of restaurants in that area of London, right? So we're walking through restaurants and we saw an Honest Burger, you know, the restaurant chain. And there was this whole crowd of people standing outside, almost like queuing down the street around the corner. And it was probably the only restaurant that I could really see where there was this like hustle and bustle kind of crowd queuing outside. And I think they do it intentionally, but it's clever because when I was walking down there, I heard this people, I think it was someone who was probably entertaining someone else for lunch, like a couple of colleagues, or entertaining like a couple of clients. And this lady just said, she walked past and said, oh, this place looks busy. Should we go in and see how long it would be for a table? Social proof in action, because she said it looked busy, right? She decided that was a restaurant that she wanted to take a risk on because of how busy it was, not because of how quiet it was. They didn't say, look, this place opposite is dead quiet, should we go there instead? She wanted the social proof because it was that validation that the crowd had given to that restaurant by queuing outside, probably intentionally by the restaurant. They probably make everyone queue for that reason. They know that it's like when you go into a restaurant, it's why they always put you first in the window, because they want other people to walk past and be like, oh, let that couple look like they're having a nice dinner. Should we go in there? Social proof in action, you know, it's the same thing. It's that validation that it gives the place, and it increases the perceived likelihood of that lady making a good decision and not risking making a mistake by taking clients that she's trying to impress into a restaurant that's rubbish. Right? So it's the same thing on our store. Imagine it's just digital, right? But this is why it's easier to equate it to the real world, if you like. With digital ecosystems, if someone goes to a website, they're having the same emotional, psychological reaction to seeing product reviews on your store, to seeing testimonials, to seeing customer case studies, things like that, of talking about, I wasn't sure if I wanted to buy XYZ product, but I did, and now I'm happier, and now it works really well, and here's how it's changed my life, and blah, blah, blah. You can provide that information in the case study and it has the same effect. So it's really positive, and it's a great way of, rather than you having to push your own business, you just allow other people who are seeing the results of it push it. So it works really well.
And this is why strategy is so important, because the only way that we can build up a nice bank of product reviews and service reviews from your customers is if you are delivering the right products from the right suppliers, and if you're able to deliver great customer service. And the only way you can do that is if you are following the right strategy and selling high quality products and making sure the delivery time is realistic as well. So now the way that we run our business is with UK suppliers to UK customers, we can guarantee the product quality because we vet the suppliers, and we can guarantee the delivery time is going to be under 3 working days in most cases, instead of if we were to go down the model that I used to use, which was the AliExpress Chinese dropshipping model. And often that's like 2 or 3 weeks, maybe even 4 weeks for delivery. And that's never going to be able to build up a nice bank of good reviews, because the actually experience that you're giving to your customers is not going to warrant a 5-star review. It's so important that strategy comes first, and then you've got those reviews, and it becomes a flywheel effect, because then your business can just keep scaling from there.
Exactly. Yeah. And when we say the AliExpress model that we talk about, obviously we're kind of like, I guess, labeling that whole model of like long delivery time. So if you say, oh no, but AliExpress is not my supplier, that, that's our point, is that AliExpress is kind of representative of a model where you're using suppliers usually from China, and it just takes a long time. But yeah, I mean, even if you have suppliers closer to home, you're going to run into the same types of problems, right? And eventually, like you say, if the product arrives and it's terrible quality, then great, you got it for cheap, but your brand reputation is going to face the consequences when people start to share their experience. So definitely a reason to use high quality products and have them delivered fast from suppliers who are based in the same country, ideally in the UK. The next thing that I would definitely look at is email marketing as well. So currently I use an app called Klaviyo for email marketing. So that's something that we link up to our Shopify e-commerce store, and it can kind of take control of the email marketing for us. And it's really something that's like fairly set it and forget it in terms of like the automation flows that you can set up. Of course, you can still be sending out regular emails to your email list of subscribers, but in terms of like the flows, things like cart abandonment sequences, so we've all had those where you go onto a store on a website and you put something in the basket and then you leave, but then the next day you get an email saying, hey, come back, 10% off, £10 off, whatever. So it's just like a gentle nudge to remind customers of what they're missing out on, which, if you think about this, if we take this back into the physical world out of the digital world, imagine leaving a shop after looking around and being like, maybe you put something into your basket and then you go, no, I'm not going to buy it, and you walk out and the shopkeeper comes running after you and it's like, no, I'll give you a discount. Honestly, like, might be a bit desperate in the real world, but there are ways of positioning it so it makes you reconsider. They could come out and be like, before you leave today, would you consider doing it if you got a discount, right? So it's funny to equate these things to the real world and think, imagine if we had a shopkeeper for every customer who ever came into our store that could do that automatically on demand 24/7, 365 days a year. Powerful stuff, isn't it?
So powerful. And it's automated when it's in the digital world and online. Nobody has to go out and chase people down the street. It's an automated email, so we don't have to think about it. And we know there'll be emails sent out thousands a day to our customers that are abandoning carts and looking at products, and that doesn't take any extra effort on our part. So Klaviyo is a brilliant tool. Another tool, while we're on the subject of marketing, is Google search text ads. So you mentioned Google ads being an absolute primary way that we get customers in. But a tip that we'll share, and something that you taught me through the Dropship Unlocked Masterclass, was setting up a search text ad for our brand name, for the actual trading name that our store trades under. So what that means is when people have already been to your website and then they decide they want to purchase a little bit later in the day, and the first thing they search is your brand name, so the website name that you're trading under, you want to make sure that your website is going to appear at the top of those search engine results page. And the way we can guarantee that is by running an ad and using our brand name as a keyword to make sure that those ads appear. And the campaign that I run is the most profitable campaign that I run. It's got a return on ad spend of like 40. So every pound that we spend, we get £40 back from that campaign. And it's been consistent like that for 2.5 years since I first started running it. So there's a tip for everyone. Make sure you're running search text ads to your brand name. And that's something where it'll be a guaranteed profitable investment for you to get that campaign set up.
Definitely. Yeah. And it also builds the brand as well, doesn't it? And it means that because you won't get a lot of traffic on that brand campaign when you first start, because your brand won't be known, but eventually people start searching you. And even more like ninja tip that you can do is retargeting list search ads as well. So you can add that says something different and just show it to a group of customers or a group of prospective customers who are searching for your brand name and have already visited your site. And you can change the wording. So rather than saying like, barbecuesonline.com, come and get the best deals. Instead of that, it might say, hey, come back, we missed you, or something like that, like something that's more personalized to them, and be like, still shopping around? Head over here for a discount, like something that calls out the fact that they've already been to your site and that they can come back, and that you'll see your click-through rate really increase with that as well.
And we've got these tools at our fingertips from day one. And as you mentioned, it's important to get these set up actually from day one before your website starts to appear at the top of the search engine results page. We can run an ad, and on day one, it can be at the top of those search engine results pages and be generating a consistent profit for you ever since. So I definitely owe you, Lewis, setting that up. And it sort of speaks to the value of mentorship, because as soon as you learn these little insights, it's something you can implement straight away and generate profit consistently on that ad campaign ever since.